1, 2, 3, funk it.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
So, this video is something that's a little touchy for me, not necessarily what I'm going through. It's just, I know a few people who are going through this currently. Let me make it straight, okay. I know a few people who are going through this currently, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and like my advice. I'm not like a therapist or like have a degree in this or anything like that. Like, you don't even have to listen to me. But it's just my advice for leaving a toxic relationship, and how it kind of, I was once in a toxic relationship with who I'm with now, and we had to both leave that relationship and start a new relationship. Doesn't mean you have to necessarily leave the person. It's just if you guys are both willing to come to that agreement of like, this is toxic and we need to fix this, then do that. But first, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure before you go to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so every time I post, you guys can get my post notifications. So this is something that is a little touchy for me, because I've seen it firsthand, and I'm not mentioning any names or anything, but I've seen it, and it's something that is just horrible. It's something really horrible because it's something that's hard to leave. You get so invested into someone, whether it is a family member, whether it is a relationship with a spouse, whatever it is, you get invested into people, you know, and sometimes it's toxic. And for me, when it becomes toxic, it can bring you down in so many ways. It can make you even forget about you, forget about your life. It can make you dwell on things that maybe you shouldn't dwell on. And I remember seeing it firsthand, and all I would think is, I don't want that. I don't want that. So yeah, like I was saying, I've seen it firsthand, and I feel like the first step to leaving someone toxic is at least trying. For me, like I'm just a very trying person. Like, no matter how toxic a person is for me, like, I still try. I will try to my fullest until I feel like it's dead. It's just a dead flat line, you know? Like, there's no saving that relationship. And there's signs, guys. There's signs before this toxic, like when people start dropping out of your life quickly, like boom, 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 like they're just dropping. When this person is constantly making you feel like you're worth nothing, or just amounting to nothing, or just bringing you down. Okay, I had to change my setting. but yeah, just personally dealing with it firsthand, I just feel like try until you can't try anymore. Now, one thing about being in a toxic relationship is they can be very manipulative and make you feel like you're wrong when they're really wrong. So it's just a matter of self-worth at this point. Like, you really have to know, like, we always have that feeling inside of us, like we know our worth, but we just like suppress our worth, if that makes sense, you know? And don't do that. When you feel that in your gut and you feel it in your core, stick with your feelings, okay? Now for moving on from this toxic, like, it's really, someone can give you so much advice, but it really has to be within you to leave. Like, everyone could tell you, you can tell your whole family that this person is toxic, or friends that this person is toxic, and everyone will say leave, and they'll give you a million reasons why to leave, and you still stay. Toxic. That is called toxic. So when you do decide to leave, it's hard to move on from it. It's like, how do I describe it? I'm just gonna give you guys my little story, just to like kind of tell you guys what is going on. Well, what went on, not is going on. So when me and Ariane first got back together, everything was like going great for the first few months, and then I had gotten pregnant, and a lot of things got in tuned in our relationship. I felt like I wasn't amounting to anything. I felt like I was kind of being put to the side, especially while being pregnant. Like, you want to feel loved, you want to feel like you're needed, and I didn't feel like I was needed. And it definitely weighed me down a lot as a pregnant woman, as a woman, as a girlfriend. It weighed me down. And for him, he wasn't really understanding my point of view, and it was just becoming toxic. Like, I didn't trust him to ever go out anywhere, and I was like, we weren't going out. Like, we were just staying with one another, and just, how do I put this? Just, there was no trust. There was just arguments on things that there shouldn't have been an argument about. Like, if I trust you, like, this is how I picture my relationship perfect, right? A perfect relationship. I should trust you to go anywhere with anyone. I should trust you. I should trust you with my whole heart. Now, if there is a slight of me that doesn't trust you, there's something wrong. And when this becomes a constant thing, like, I mean, obviously we all have those feelings once in a while, but if it's so constant to the point where it's just, you're not doing anything at all, the only people you see is each other, then there's something wrong. It might be toxic. If someone is constantly calling you a B, out your name, it's toxic. No man or no woman should ever call anyone out their name. I'm telling you now, like, I don't like to call Ariana his name. I probably have in the past when we were toxic, but I don't like to do that. I like to respect him and give him that respect enough to know that I won't disrespect you like that, but don't disrespect me like that. And that was just the toxic in us. So now, flipping the new page and how we came to that point was, honestly, it was a process. It took a while, but we both knew that we didn't want that. So it took a long time, honestly. Like, he started working at a new job, and since he's been working there, he's been realizing a lot, and I feel like our communication has gotten much better because, like, he's gone a lot of the days, and I'm, like, home by myself a lot, and, like, I get very, I'm just an emotional person, and it like upsets me that he's not here. So, like, we talk, and I communicate with him. When I need something, I communicate. One thing too, guys, is, like, in a relationship, like, there needs to be communication with one another. That's a really big thing. I remember one time I was sitting down with him, and I was telling him about someone that I seen, like, an Instagram story. And I was like, what are 3 things that you need in a relationship? Like, with a spouse. And he said loyalty. I forgot the other 2 he said, but for me, I know I said family oriented. I said patience, and I just want communication. That is something that I need in a relationship with anyone. You know, like, we need to be flowing with things. Obviously, we're gonna hit roads where we, like, you know, we argue, but it should never ever be so consistent, and it shouldn't be to the point where we're calling each other out our names or feeling low about ourselves. And, you know, like I said, that is something that I witnessed firsthand, is a toxic relationship, and I knew from young I didn't want that. I wanted someone to respect me, to love me, to honor me, to just make me feel like I'm wanted and needed. And every woman and every man out there, like, if you're watching this, like, you should know your worth. Like, it's just really, you have to know your worth. It starts with self-worth. Because if you don't know your worth, you're just going to keep tolerating disrespect. And you have to leave that for you. Because you're going to waste so many years and so much time on a person that doesn't necessarily deserve that. Okay? And it hurts to leave. And it might suck. And it might make you cry. But at the end of the day, at the end, you're going to be so free. You're going to be free of these feelings. You're going to be free, just free. Just free. And you deserve that. We have one life that we know of, right? We have one life. And in this life, I want to live to my fullest extent. I want to travel. I want to be happy. That is the biggest thing. Happiness for me. I want more happy days than sad days. I want more laughs than cries. And if you guys already know, if you're crying more than you're smiling and laughing, there's a problem. It might strike your heart, but you got to get up and you have to leave that person. So, and it makes me emotional because, like, people really stay in relationships for, oh my God, like, I can't even express, years, like 30 years. They waste their whole life basically on one person that they knew all along was not right for them. And they just never leave. They never get the courage to leave. And they're so miserable. So I don't want that, you know, I don't want that. And I know for all my girls and gentlemen out there, because gentlemen go through it too. Men go through this. They stay in toxic relationships with women that they shouldn't stay with. But I promise you guys, do this today. If you feel even a slight bit that you're in a toxic relationship or just a relationship that's just not for you, write a pros list and a cons list. And if there's more cons than pros, that is not the person for you. And you need to sit down with yourself, okay? Maybe look in the mirror and tell yourself, write 3 things about yourself that you love, okay? And 3 things that make you happy. 3 things that you love about yourself, 3 things that make you happy. And tell yourself that over and over and over until you cry, okay? Until you cry those feelings out and get the courage to text, call, maybe meet up in person if you really trust that person, you know, and tell them, I learned my worth today, this very day, and I know in my heart that this isn't what's right for both of us. Whether this is a family member, a spouse, a friend. And sit them down and tell them this and just say, I love you, but for me, I have to leave this. And from that very moment, walk away. Don't look back, because the second you look back, it's going to be harder to go forward. So just look forward. Look to the brighter days. Look, there's always a rainbow on the other side of the mountain. Okay? So I know someone out there can understand me and relate to me, and they know what I'm saying, okay? So I just know that this is something that's very much needed, and I wanted to make a video on it because I actually get a lot of DMs about this. And I went through this too, and I had to write my own pros and cons list, and there was more cons than pros. And I had to sit down. Is this person really worth it? Is this person worth fighting for? And it was. I have a child with him. So I sat down with him. And it wasn't like so bad to the point where, like, you know, it was the very beginning of toxic, okay? And before it got any worse, I nipped it in the butt. And we discussed what we needed as a couple, what we need as a relationship, and slowly things started to get better. So that's your choice, guys. If you feel like there's more cons than pros and it's worth fighting for, then sit that person down and talk to them. Tell them how you feel. You're entitled to that. So I just wanted to make this video. Know yourself. Know your self-worth. You are beautiful, whether you are a man, whether you are a woman. And I love all of you guys so very much. I feel like I'm hugging the entire world, and I feel sad. I don't know why. Because I know it's a hard thing. So I guess I get like a little emotional and like choked up over it. But just know your worth, guys. Please don't waste years and time on someone who doesn't deserve your time. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.